It's the 19th of February, 2026, and we are yet here in southern New Hampshire getting another snowstorm, another 48 or whatever. And I've been waiting to get my fifth wheel into a local auto body shop to have some repairs done to skirting and fender flare for a tire that lost a tread back in August. So, yeah, it's been a few months. I found out a couple of things about um, insurance that I wasn't aware of. First of all, once you put the claim in, you don't have to rush to get the unit in. As long as you have that claim and it's active, uh, you can get that worked on pretty much anytime. Anyway, the body shop told me that shouldn't have to worry about it. They deal with this sort of thing all the time. And actually, it's an auto body shop, but they do a lot of RV work, and they do a lot of very good RV work. As a matter of fact, um, it'll be 3 years in May. Uh, we were headed down to Virginia Beach, and um, if any of you traveling from the Northeast are heading south, like probably most of us, try to avoid the George Washington Bridge. And if you're thinking about going down south and you haven't been down that way yet, towing an RV, you want to avoid the George Washington Bridge. It is for me, it's a nightmare. A lot of traffic, very tight. Um, People doing all kinds of stupid things, trying to wedge themselves into lanes that they probably shouldn't be doing, or trying to, I should say. That happened to us. I inadvertently missed the exit for 684 that would bring us to the General Cuomo Bridge, not the General Cuomo Bridge, excuse me, the Governor Cuomo Bridge, formerly known as the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is it's a nice bridge, nice wide lanes, and definitely no problem going over that at all. Actually, if you haven't gone over that yet, uh, that's that's an easy ride. Um, so I was very disgusted with myself. Um, Ended up, long story short, ended up going over the George Washington Bridge, and you have to take it's like a 300 or a 270-degree exit off of the expressway leading to it. And in the right hand lane, that traffic is supposed to continue on down towards Manhattan. Uh, but what happens quite a bit is you have people coming up the right hand lane and trying to wedge themselves into the left hand lane so they can take that exit. So I just had an 18 wheeler do that, and um, let him in, and I was right on the bumper of the trailer, and there was another car that came up. Um, they had damage on their driver's side. Their driver's side mirror was hanging off, what was left of it hanging off their door. And they tried to squeeze themselves, put their nose in between the trailer of the 18 wheeler in front of me and the nose of my truck. And, well, I wasn't going to let that happen. And it didn't. But obviously, she wasn't paying attention to what I was driving or actually towing, because she was right on the bumper of my truck and tried to turn in right on the bumper of my truck. What she came in contact with was the front leading edge of the passenger side or door side of the fifth wheel, and dragged her car down the entire length of my almost brand new 43-foot Volano 390 LK, which retails for about 170,000. I didn't pay that, but so I was, needless to say, a little bent out of shape. So was the fifth wheel. So after it was still drivable, we went down to Virginia Beach, had a nice week 10 days down there, and then came back up, and then brought this fifth wheel over to an auto body shop that's near us. They were highly recommended, and they did a fantastic job. The thing is, with the Volano, the skirting is not your regular J-channel skirting. A lot of your RVs out there use a standard type of J-type skirting. They can order it off the shelf. They cut it to fit. They put it in, no big deal. Tiffin / Van Lee, what they did was they ended up using metal brakes. That's for those of you that may not be familiar, that's an actual machine, a shop tool that you put a sheet of metal in and you bend it. So all the individual pieces of the skirting for the individual slides and the fixed body parts were all bent and custom made for each individual unit. So there was a little back and forth with the insurance company because the insurance company didn't realize that. They actually turned them on to a video that showed the assembly of one of the units on the factory floor for Van Lee, and then they understood. Anyway, I got the unit back from this business, and it looked brand new. You couldn't tell that anything had happened to it. It's exactly the way things should be when you get something repaired. So, that being said, I'm trying to get the fifth wheel out to get to this place to be fixed, and it's much less damage than they had dealt with beforehand. But they saved all the information from the unit, so they have where they sourced the metal from and measurements and all this other stuff. So they can pretty rapidly reproduce the pieces that they had to reproduce before, which is good for me. And they've got the paint color because they had to go experiment with with the paint to get the right color for the skirt. So it's all good for me. But so in trying to get this thing out, long story long, I guess, I got my ladder and went out to the fifth wheel because a lot of the snow is melted off the roof, and I've tried to keep a good portion of it off. But the last bit needed to come off because I was going to try to get it over to them tomorrow prior to the next storm coming. And when I went up there, the sealant where the cap meets the body on the top at the extreme left side, just in front of the awning. So if you imagine a seam that goes, the entire top, and right down the sides where the cap meets the body, there's sealant that goes on the top, and right on the left-hand side, the sealant has popped loose. Is actually a decent sized piece, maybe about 2 or 3 inches long, and it's probably about 2 inches wide, 2 to 3 inches wide, is actually loose. So I'm going to have to fix it. It's too cold to do that. I mean, we've been lucky and we've gotten up to about 43 degrees, which sounds pretty cold, but after dealing with 15, or below zero temperatures, 43 feels pretty good. Anyway, so I noticed that, and I'm going to have to fix it. I don't think there's any real issue with it because there's other mechanisms up there to prevent water from getting in. That sealant on top is kind of a finishing sort of thing. So I'm going to have to get up, as I would normally do in the spring, and inspect everything. But in the process of doing that, I already know I have some repair that I have to do. So if you own an RV, a trailer, or a fifth wheel, or a motorhome, or whatever that might have an EDPM roof, it depends on sealant. It's important that in the spring, for us in the Northeast that have a winter where we winterize our units, after winter, you want to get up on the roof and you want to inspect all those seams and seals. around your vents and skylights if you have them, like the ones over the bathroom showers or vents. Any of those, you want to make sure that that sealant is intact and it's in good condition. You're going to have to do some cleaning. And if you find one that has, delaminated, or there's something physically wrong with it, or something's damaged it, you want to get all of that material off, clean the area very well, and then reapply the appropriate caulk. Now, there's several different materials out there that are available to you. Personally, I like to use Dicor. There's several different types of this. This is a lap sealant, and it's self-leveling, and it works very, very well. This will be our 26th year camping. So I've used a couple of different products. Dicor has a couple of different products. This is like I said, the lap seal. So you put this on, and what it does is it actually levels itself out. It actually settles, so it doesn't act like normal caulk. So if you use a tube of caulk and you run a bead, it stays in that bead. But if you run a bead of this, what it does is just flattens out, which is good. So it'll cover an area for you. But you want to do that at the appropriate temperature. And I think you want to be at least, it's got to be at least 50 degrees out. And nice. You don't want to be raining and all that stuff. So that's the lap sealant. And then we'll just leave that one right here. And then there's another one. This is also a sealant. It's this one's a white ultra sealant, also self-leveling. And this one's beige. So, or well, no, this one's white too. But they do come in different colors, so that it'll match up with what you have already. The ones that I have on my unit around the vents and around the skylights and that sort of thing, that sealant is white. There is the lap sealant that I have where the cap meets the roof or the body. That is kind of a champagne color, beige, if you will. So I'm going to be applying that. I'll go ahead and order that with that particular color because I want it to match. But I wanted to take just a couple of minutes with a side story to remind you, for those people who have subscribed, they're going to get hit with this video if you have an RV, that this spring you should make plans on getting up into the roof of your RV and inspecting it closely, because keeping your unit watertight is probably amongst the most important thing that you can do, because the worst thing that you can do is introduce water into one of these units. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and upload this, and I've got a bunch of other videos that I've done, but I just haven't uploaded. I'm going to go back through it. I think I edited those and put those up on the channel. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get back into some of the troubleshooting and fixing of things. There's several things I want to cover. Some awnings, slides, Swintex stuff, which has been covered quite a bit. Another channel that I like to watch, My RV, is it My RV? Yeah, My RV Works. That gentleman is very, very good. And if you want to see some great videos on how to maintain and fix things with your RV, that's a good channel to go to. Not that I'm sponsoring one or another, it just that happens to be one that I enjoy. So anyway, so if you're looking forward to the spring like I am, maybe now is a good time to start thinking about those things that you need to do in order to make sure your rig is ready to get on the road. So with that, here's to spring. And if you have ideas, you have questions that you think that I might be able to help out with, or you'd like me to talk about, please go ahead and include those in the comments. Give me a like if you like it, and yeah, that'd be nice. All right, well, have a good evening, and it's good to see you again after a long time. Have a good one. Bye.